This is the Untold Italy travel podcast, and you're listening to episode number 166.
Ciao a tutti and benvenuti to Untold Italy, the travel podcast where you go to the towns and villages, mountains and lakes, hills and coastlines of Bella Italia. Each week, your host, Katie Clark, takes you on a journey in search of magical landscapes, history, culture, wine, gelato, and of course, a whole lot of pasta. If you're dreaming of Italy and planning future adventures there, you've come to the right place.
Buongiorno. Hi, everyone. Today, we're going to take a look at travelling Italy in private luxury style and learn what you can expect when you hand over your trip to an experienced travel company to take care of all of your plans, from the very best hotels and experiences to personal transportation. It's truly a dream and one that may be a little more accessible than you think. Over the years, I've travelled in many different ways across Italy, as an extreme budget-focused traveller to independent travel by train and car and small tour groups. And I've enjoyed every single trip. But I have to say, given the opportunity, I jump at the chance to work with local experts and have all the transportation and logistics taken care of. Not to mention all of that insider knowledge on wineries, restaurants, and more. So let's jump in and hear from my friend Giovanni from Giovanni, Italy, on what you can expect on a private luxury tour of Italy. Benvenuto, Giovanni. Ciao, and welcome to the Untold Italy podcast.
Ciao, Katie. Thank you for having me on this podcast. How are you?
Finally, I'm good. Finally, we got you on the podcast. I'm so excited. How are things in beautiful Sorrento there?
Sorrento is beautiful today, sunny, no clouds, and there's starting a lot of tourists coming already. So we started the summer a little bit early this year, and that's a good thing.
Yes, I know. I think it's starting earlier and earlier, isn't it? Anyway, oh, wonderful. I love the build up to Easter in Italy. It's one of my favourite times to visit, and I love all the festivities. So it's a great time to be there. Now, Giovanni, our listeners know your brother, Pier Paolo, from our episodes about pizza and the Amalfi Coast, but they haven't heard your voice yet. Can you please introduce yourself and let everyone know about your company and your background?
Sure. Actually, I'm involved in the tourism industry since 1998. As you said, my name is Giovanni and I own Gio Banana Limos in Italy. And we are specialized basically for, private tours. And we also have a travel agency. Main clients are from US, Australia, England, Canada, and many people from all over the world that they speak English. We have all of our partners speaking English, and we try to make a vacation for our clients, memorable one that people never forget, and that's what we do since 1998.
Wow. It's a long time. And what I love about your business is it's such a family business and everyone's involved. And I think it just shows from the customer service that you give people, because there's a lot of your family working in the business, isn't there?
Yes, it is. I mean, let's say me and my brother, Pier Paolo, that people already knows because he did a few podcasts about the pizza and about the Amalfi Coast. Basically, he started later than me, but then, you can tell you need a passion for this. The family is completely involved, even my wife, even my brother, even my sister-in-law, and I have a few people working for me. The most important thing is the passion, and the other thing is that the client has to be in the center of everything. Is the main reason for us. That what makes us quite big now.
Yeah, you've grown so much, even since I first met you. And I think it's definitely because of your knowledge of the tourism industry, but most of all your passion for your customers, and that's what's helped build your business year over year. And so today I thought I'd invite you along to talk about some of the most special experiences that you offer, the private custom tours of Italy, because I think, if some people have a dream in their mind about visiting Italy, and if they wanted the most ultimate experience, that's probably it. When I think of a private custom tour, I think of something where everything's taken care of so that I can soak up the beauty of the country all around me. So what can we expect when we go down the journey of looking at a private custom tour with Giovanni Italy?
Well, what I actually try to do with the clients, which most of the time, they became friends, I like to let them feel at home. So when they came in Italy, they are basically free to do whatever they want to do, but with a personal assistant for the entire length of the vacation and without having any, as we usually say in Italy, stress. So no stress at all because you are on vacation. You don't have to care to book your hotel, your experience, your winery, your cooking class, the tickets, the guides. So we'll take care of everything. We are actually getting very, very, very specialized on private tours of Italy, and we are extending our offers even, to the closer states like France, Austria, like Switzerland. We have a few tours this year taking private family over there. What I basically did, I exported the model of, what the big bus tours are all around Italy. I don't want to mention any tour operator. What I actually try to do is to offer more or less the same thing in a private way without following other 40, 50 people and basically spending almost the same money. Well, slightly higher, but it's a VIP service because you have a driver at your disposal, you have guides everywhere, and there is always someone that takes care of you in each corner of Italy. So that's really important, because I used to work for big tour operators since 1998, and I took people all around Europe. And I was actually thinking, people need to use the restroom. You have to wait when your tour director say, "Oh, we stopped for the restroom." I said, why don't we offer something different to these people? Then, you have the possibility doing all tours with these private luxury minivans, most of the times Mercedes minivans. We can get in each corner of the city. Those are things that you can't do by bus. Using a bus, that means that a lot of walk is involved, and obviously a lot of time is lost. Because, I can take you directly to Piazza della Signoria in Florence. I can take you outside the Accademia. I can take you, what can I say, outside of the Vatican. I can take you outside the Colosseum. I can take you definitely everywhere. And that makes a lot of difference on a tour.
Absolutely. I think it's really important for everyone to know that if you're on a general tour of Italy, there's places that the bigger vehicles just can't get to. They're not allowed to go. But if you have a special license, which is what Giovanni has and his team, you can get to these special places.
The other the most important thing to mention is we have a special license because we are authorized by the government. But beside that, we have insurance. The many people, many companies, maybe they don't have a car registered on, and a tourist has to think about that, especially when they see the huge difference on price. There is something that makes the difference of price, right?
Yes, and I know you're very careful about all of those things, and it's really important. The other thing about Giovanni as well is he's got a big team. So if like a driver's sick, then it's okay because you can always find another driver to do the work or another guide. And I think this is really important to know because there are a lot of people offering services in Italy, but some of them, they're really fantastic people and they're great, but they may not have the feet on the street, so to speak, people that can help if there's someone that's sick or they're unable to work. And that's really, I think that's part of a luxury service, isn't it? So it's all seamless. No one knows if something went wrong.
Right. It is basically a luxury service, but not spending a fortune. That's a good thing. I mean, spending the right amount of money that you need to have a luxury service.
So maybe you can take us through like a day by day of a luxury trip that you're going to offer. So for example, most people want to do these cities, don't they? Rome, Florence, and Venice, and the Amalfi Coast, probably. So, what could people expect if they went on a private custom tour with you?
Oh, that's my pleasure because that's what I used to do so far, and that's where I actually teach all my drivers and guides. Let's say you book a tour with us for about 10 days. First of all, the most important thing is that you have a customer service 24 hours and plans everything beside you. Then you have a driver that picks you up at the airport wherever you arrive. Sometimes we design, arrival in Zurich in Switzerland or arrival in Milan or either in Venice. The Venice one, for example, I love it because there are many clients when I talk to them on the phone selling a package, they say, "How do I get to my hotel in Venice when I land?" I say, "Well, you get by boat." I say, "What?" "Yes, you get by boat." I will have a private boat picking you up at the airport directly and take you in front of the door of your hotel in Venice. Really? Yes, that's how it works. So I will have a lost. You'll get to the airport, then we take our private boat, we go to the hotel, you make the check-in, then you will have an assistant that is specialized on Venice Island that takes care of all of my clients. The day next gives you some information about the city, and then the day next takes you to the islands, the famous Murano, Burano, Mazzorbo, Torcello. Mazzorbo is famous because it's the only part of Venice area where they make the wine, by the way, the only vineyard. Very, very nice. Of course, we do offer the gondola ride, always with an assistant, and that's important. The Doge's Palace. So let's say you have a private tour of the area. Then the day next, you will have your driver, will transfer you to Tuscany area after you had about 2 nights in Venice. I'm telling you about the itinerary of 10 days, if for you is okay.
Yeah, sure. No, this is the typical one.
The typical one, right. Then you have a driver that picks you up, waits you that you get to the dock by boat, loads your luggage, takes you to the Tuscany area. Most of the times we have a stop in the Emilia Romagna region. It's very famous for the Parmigiano, for the prosciutto, the Parma ham, and of course the balsamic vinegar. And so we give a chance to our clients to have a stop and test 100-year-old vinegar, which is really, really something. And they will have lunch, they will have a tour of the farm, they will have some Parmigiano testing, and then we continue our day going to Florence. We will check in the hotel in Florence. This is an important thing I want to point out, which is we take hotels in the center, so where people is able to walk around in safe areas, and it's important to say that because some people are worried about pickpockets, about this, about this. Pickpockets are all over the world, but if you have an hotel, obviously in the center, nearby Piazza della Signoria, nearby the Duomo, same thing in Venice, same thing in Rome, same thing in Sorrento, and everywhere we go. So we pick up always centrally located hotels, 4 or 5 stars. Why we made this decision?
Why?
Because a 3-star hotel in Italy is not like a 3-star in America or in Australia or wherever. It's a little bit different. And so there is a risk to get a complaint. We don't want to get any complaint from our clients. That's why we decided to book 4 or 5-star hotel in standard double occupancy room. But the tours are private, so you can choose to have a triple room, you can choose to have a family room, or you can choose to have a single room. So because we customize the tour, they are not set at all, you know.
Yeah, I think it's worth noting as well that some of the bigger tour companies, they don't stay in the center. So to get into the center of Rome or the center of Florence, you need to get the local transportation, and they do that because they need to stay in a big hotel. I think it just loses the charm of being in Italy if you're not staying in the right in the center where you can wake up and hear the bells of the Duomo in Florence. Or I was listening to you and I was thinking, wow, to get from Venice to Florence in a day, you can do that by train, but you're surely not going to be going to visit the Parmigiano Reggiano factory. You're going to save yourself a heap of time if you travel this way, actually, because you just have to sit back and relax while someone transports you to the places that you need to go to without you having to figure it out for yourself.
Right, you are definitely right. Obviously, if you move by, we have a good train system in Italy, the fast trains, and we do a lot of tours using trains too. That's why I said we do customized services because there are many people maybe they choose to have a train. Obviously, you miss the scenery, the landscapes. You cannot stop, obviously, as you said, at the Parmigiano Reggiano or at the balsamic vinegar factory. But the same thing is even, for example, from Florence to Rome. We usually have a stop in Orvieto. We have a stop in Montepulciano. We will have a lunch break at the winery, a wine tasting on the way. So, and you don't have to worry about to drive. You have your driver. And pointing out what you said about using local transportation, that's another important thing that we do. We usually offer the driver 10 to 11 hours at the client's disposal for the day. That means that at the night you want to move and you want to go dinner somewhere, at least you can go there with our driver if he's within the 10, 11 hours, obviously, you know. And this is another important thing that people loves about it because they have a driver at their disposal.
They're working very hard to make sure everyone's happy, those drivers.
Right. I have to say they work hard, yeah, but they love it. They have passion for it. Because if you don't have passion, you can't choose this job, obviously, yeah.
No. So once we're in Florence, we spent some beautiful time in Florence. What's the next stop on our trip? Because I interrupted you. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem at all. Once you get in Florence, you'll check into your centrally located hotel. The day next, you will have a personal, licensed guide, private licensed guide, professional, takes you to the Accademia, where you can obviously see the famous Davids of Michelangelo. And if you want, obviously, we can organize also to go to the Uffizi. As I said, Katie, this is always customized. Maybe people already have been there. We can exchange and put something different. We can move to the Chianti region, to the Tuscany area. We can go to visit Siena and San Gimignano. We can have a truffle and experience. We can have wine tasting, obviously. So a typical one, a classic one, visit Florence and with a guide. And then they will have basically half their leisure to shop. Florence is famous for the gold, for the leather. So people, they can walk around on the Ponte Vecchio and have some shopping. And then after that, the day next, we can move directly to Sorrento. Let's say this is a 10-day tour starting from Florence and ending in Rome. So people, especially coming from the US, they can land in Venice and they can fly out from Rome, which is what we usually suggest if you take this kind of tour. So from Florence, we move to Sorrento. We will have a stop on the way, as I said before. You can stop in Orvieto, you can stop in Montepulciano, have a tour on the way to Siena. Why not? And in Sorrento, we will have about 3 nights because in the area of Sorrento, but I can easily say like every city in Italy, there is a lot to see. There is really a lot to see. When you are based in Sorrento, you can have a day spent on the Amalfi Coast, the famous Amalfi Coast. You can have a day spent in Capri. You can have a day spent in Pompeii, Herculaneum, and Mount Vesuvius. you can do, you heard about the pestum, right? Temples with the buffalo mozzarella cheese. And as I said, we can customize these 2 or 3 days. When we do Capri, we do it with a private boat.
That's the best. Like, no one will ever forget that in their life if they do that.
And even in Sorrento, we'll get a centrally located hotel. So the day next, we can choose to go to the Amalfi Coast, or we can set to go to Capri by boat. We can do both in 2 days. Why not? On the way to Rome, when we leave Sorrento, obviously the evenings are always at leisure, and being the hotels centrally located, you are able to walk to the restaurants, you are able to walk to the shops or to the bars and have an aperitivo, watching, the passage. It's really, really nice. Then mostly of the centers in Italy, like Florence, like Sorrento, obviously Venice, there are no cars. Most of the centers are pedestrian, what we call ZTL, which is traffic limited zone. And there are just a few vehicles, and that is even another safe reason to stay there, to stay in the center. You can walk around without any problem and see the passage and enjoy your time over there. Then once we leave Sorrento and we go to Rome, on the way we will have a stop either in Pompeii and Naples. Pompeii, because obviously it's world famous, 3,000 years old. It was all buried by the volcano, Mount Vesuvius. And so even there you will have a guide. Entrance tickets are always included for every museum on these particular tours of Italy. Then after that we go to Naples. After Pompeii, we'll do Naples, and we will have a chance to have an overview of this beautiful city, plus a stop for the real pizza, Neapolitan pizza. And so people loves it, I have to say. A lot of people are choosing to have a stop in Naples just for the pizza. It's really incredible. And after that, we drive to Rome. As I said, centrally located hotel, even in Rome. The day next, we'll do about 3 nights in Rome. And so we had 2 nights in Venice, we had 2 nights in Florence, we had 3 nights in Sorrento, and 3 nights in Rome. That is a total of 10 nights, 11 days total, and time to say goodbye. In Rome, obviously, you will have a professional guide for 2 days. It's important when you visit a city to have a professional, licensed, authorized guide. Authorized. They have that little tag on, and that is important because they know the city very, very well. They show you the history. They put yourself and they let you work with your imagination in 3,000 years of history, like the Colosseum, like the Vatican. Even those places are always tickets included and skip the line, by the way. Yeah, these are important things to mention, because they are not easy to get. Even this year is getting quite hard to get tickets, but we have our connections to get the tickets and to skip the line and get in. And so for 2 days in Rome, we will visit the entire eternal city of Rome. We will visit, as I said, Colosseum, Vatican, Navona Square, St. Peter Church, St. Peter Square. We will do, obviously, the Pantheon. We will do the Trevi Fountain, drop the coin, And then, obviously, we will do the catacombs if people love the catacombs. Even these 2 days can definitely be, customized. And people decide what they would like to visit because there are many people, they already have been to Rome. And so we can design the tour around them. And after these 2 days in Rome, it's time to say goodbye. And as you actually understood about what I said, we will take care of the people from the moment they land in Italy until the moment they jump on the plane and fly back home. This is a typical 10-day, by the way, Katie, but we also do 7 days, 5 days, 18 days, 21 days, and it's important to know that.
Giovanni, as I was mentioning, I'm heading over to Italy in a couple of weeks, and it just sounds so relaxing compared to my dashing around the train. I feel like, it's like I'm going to be traveling by train up and down the country, and I'm not going to be able to stop along the way. If you haven't had this experience before of having someone take care of you, I think everyone deserves that kind of experience, actually. And it's really efficient. So getting from Naples to Rome with a stop for pizza in Naples, I've done that with Giovanni's brother Pierpaolo, and my kids are still talking about that experience. Like, they loved it. They want to do it again and again and again, and then when it's finished, we just get in the car and we can relax. You can have a sleep. You can go to sleep off your pizza, and then you'll get woken up when you get to the next place.
You can have a sleep and you can enjoy the landscape. As I said before, most of the times trains in Italy, they are beautiful landscapes too, but most of the times they go through the tunnels. You don't really, I'm sure you have taken a train in Italy, right? So, and it's important that you can relax and have someone that takes care for you.
I think that's a real sense of luxury when you have that person taking care of you. It's very different to having to figure everything out for yourself. It makes such a big difference. Well, I was going to ask you, Giovanni, I imagine that you've had some very special experiences with some of your clients over the years. Do you have any special memories of clients that have enjoyed this type of trip with you?
Yeah, let's say I want to tell you about the ones that I had a couple last year. Most of the times, people plan their vacation based on how can I say on something that like a birthday, anniversary, or and the nicest experience was a couple, let's say, on honeymoon, and I gave them a guide on the boat because they wanted a guide. They said, Giovanni, I want a guide because when I get off in Capri, and so I gave them a guide. And on the boat, I also made sure they had a cake, the famous Italian cake that with their name on it. And on the boat, the guy told me, "Oh, Giovanni, they had an engagement on the boat under the Faraglioni rock."
Oh.
On the boat, they were kissing. They were on the. A lot of people kisses under the Faraglioni rocks. The love stays there. But the thing is to do an engagement under the Faraglioni rocks, it's really something. And this was an idea of the client. Then we have a lot of requests, very, very, particular requests. We had a client last year, he did about 15 days in Italy, and we had to book for him every day a massage section. Which is a special request that you don't have it every day. He said, Giovanni, make sure that your assistant books for me a session of about half an hour of massage each hotel we go. So I had to pick, a special hotel with the spa with the it was a special request, I have to say. Obviously, you pay for this, but it's a request that we accommodated.
And I actually know that would actually be quite hard to achieve, to find, the hotels were able to do that at the time that you needed to. That's actually not easy, I don't think. Oh.
Believe me, it's not easy at all.
So would you normally have couples, or do you have families coming along as well on these type of trips?
I would say 65% of the requests are couples, but the bookings comes mostly for family. 3 people, 4 people. We also had 9 people. The largest one we did was 21 people, and we used multiple minivans. We used a 3 7-seater, a lot of room for the luggage, and they ride the entire tour together. They loved it. They loved it. That was nice. That is a problem for us when we have to book a hotel to put all 21 people in the same hotel. We don't have these enormous hotels with 3,000 rooms. Most of the hotels, they have 60 rooms, 80 rooms, that's it. So that was an hard work, but we did it. We did it. I'm so happy we did it.
And do you have any other favorite customer stories that you wanted to share?
Yes, I have a story of this man that he called me and he said, this is my lifetime trip. I worked an entire life. I don't care how much I'm going to spend. That was really taken with my heart. because you could tell it was not a person that used to go on vacation to Italy every day. It was the first time he came to Italy, and he was originally from Italy, by the way. I mean, his ancestors were from Italy. His last name was Italian. And he said, Giovanni, make sure you give me the best ever for me and my wife. And then he came with two nieces. And so he came with two nieces, and I gave him a fantastic tour. The day I took them on the boat to Capri, and the day I took them to the Vatican, I made sure they had a nice bottle and a nice cake. And the man was almost crying when he met me in Sorrento. I brought him this cake and said, Giovanni, thank you so much. You made my dream come true. That was an experience, Katie, you never forget. Beside the money, beside of everything, when you see in the eye of a person that tells you, oh, you made my dream come true. This was my lifetime trip. I was so, so happy. I mean, there are, what, thousand and thousand tour operators around the world, and this man picked me up. So sometimes the family touch, when you talk to a person, most of these Italian tours are always managed talking to the people, understanding what they want, and are made customly, as I said. And this was an experience I actually never forget. When I saw the tears in his eye, he was so, so happy, and that's a great one. But there are many, anyhow. There are many, many stories, and they come from all over the world. We also have clients from Singapore, as I said, from New Zealand, from Australia, and obviously the majority comes from US, from Canada, but there are a lot of story. I have to say. I love what I do. That's the difference.
Yeah, and you can tell. And so everyone, when we were in Italy last year, Giovanni sent one of his drivers to pick us up, and he just gave us a really thoughtful experience. And I want to tell everyone about it because Giovanni knows that I like to go off the beaten path, and he knows that, I've been to Italy a lot of times. So he took us to this beautiful lemon grove overlooking the Bay of Naples and Massa Labrense, and it was so beautiful. And we met the family that propagate all the citrus trees there, and they made us the most delicious lunch. And I think if anyone's been listening for a while, they'll know I keep talking about this lunch because it was the best lasagna I've had for, I don't know, forever, with the smoked mozzarella. And it was just a really thoughtful thing to do because, I didn't expect anything, and I just really appreciate it. So I tell this story because I want everyone to know that that's the type of service that you get with Joe Banana. They're really caring and thoughtful, and they will listen to what your interests are, and they might not give away all the secrets up front, but you'll definitely have that experience later.
I was saying, beside this, there is even this little thing about the money to talk. Why? Because obviously it's slightly higher the price than comparing, what can I say, with big tour operators. But for the service that you receive and for the little touch, we're talking about that 4 people for about 10 days tour, they spend about 6,000 each. That's it. Then depending on the rooms, because we let them choose the type of room, our offers are based on, standard rooms in 4 or 5 star hotel. But obviously, having 10, 11 days for 5,000, 6,000, even 7,000, and having someone per person, and having someone that takes care of you, in my opinion, it's
a bargain.
It's a bargain.
It really is. And everyone travels differently, and everyone has different ways that they want to see Italy, and we don't judge anyone here on this podcast. You do Italy your way, you enjoy it your way. If you want to travel independently on the trains or by car, that's wonderful. But if you really want to relax and have everything taken care of, this is just a really wonderful way to do that, I think.
Obviously, the traveling is made for everybody, and everybody can choose to travel either by train, by car, by, on backpack. I did travel in backpack in US. So without staying in, these little motels, obviously everybody But if you want the relaxed way, in my opinion, this is the best way.
Yeah, I think so. And if you want to treat yourself, definitely that's that's the way to go. Now, grazie Giovanni. Thank you for sharing this incredible experience of a 5-star classic tour of Italy. I know many of our listeners dream of a trip like this. How can they get in touch with you if they wanted your team to help organize one for them?
Oh, there are many tours, displayed on our website. Our website, joebananalimos.com. From there, they can fill the form and they get in touch. We have a toll free. They can send us a chat. They can send us a WhatsApp. They can call us for free. By the way, we have a toll free, and you can get in touch in every way. And you can find us on every social, obviously Instagram, Facebook, and
TikTok? Are you on TikTok yet?
yeah, we are on TikTok too. We have a social media manager that takes care of all of these. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Giovanni! I'm not on TikTok.
There are too many now.
I know, there's way too many. Oh my goodness, yeah. So everyone will put all the details for Joe Banana Italy on our website, obviously. It's just so you can access that straight away. But yeah, I think what Giovanni was saying is that you can choose from some set packages or you can completely customize everything for yourself. That's right, isn't it?
Right, that's it. Yeah, but the set package can easily be customized. You want to change just a little thing, we do it because you are in touch with one of our representative in the office. You talk to them, and then you tell your desires, and we will try to accommodate all of the requests.
Yeah, I think it's a good way to do it actually because sometimes you don't know where to start. So if you've got like an idea, like I want to go to this place, then you've got somewhere where you can start and you can get an idea, then customize it. I think that's very useful.
Yeah, right. That's the reason why we designed over 50 packages. There are about 55 packages, I guess, on the website now. But I tell you, 90% they will be modified because people maybe they want to stop in a place rather than the other. But that's not a problem for us. That's not a problem at all.
I know. They're very, very clever people. Anyway, grazie mille, Giovanni. Thank you so much for joining us on Untold Italy and sharing this with us. It's been wonderful.
That was my pleasure being with you on the podcast. I wish you a great day and thank you so much. Grazie.
Grazie, ciao. Private luxury travel is something you may dream of or may not have even considered, but I think it's always important to keep an open mind about your options when it comes to travel. As you heard earlier, I experienced the incredible hospitality offered by Joe Banana Italy for myself last year, and our family is still talking about that many months later. We were able to relax and truly enjoy the scenery and experience of Massalabrense and the beautiful lemon groves and all of the countryside around the area without having to worry about getting to the train station on time or whether we'd parked in the wrong spot. On those days, I was truly present in the moment and can still smell the aroma of the lemon trees in the Tyrrhenian sea breeze. If you'd like to know more about private luxury travel in Italy with Joe Banana, then head on over to our website where you'll find the show notes at untolditaly.com/166 for episode number 166, along with all the details of how you can get in touch with Giovanni's team at Joe Banana. Grazie. Thank you for your ongoing support of Untold Italy. We truly appreciate all of our listeners, over 140,000 of you each month, and we love that you join us from all around the world. If you could help us spread the word a little bit to some more Italy-loving travellers, that would be absolutely amazing. And the best way that you can do this is by leaving us a 5-star rating or review on your favourite podcast app. That's all we have from Italy for today. We're taking a break for a couple of weeks as I travel to Italy and for Easter. But don't worry, we've scheduled a rerun of some of our most popular episodes so you can still get your Italian fix. Ciao for now.
The Untold Italy podcast is an independent production. Podcast editing, audio production and website development by Mark Hatter, production assistance and content writing by the other Katie Clark. Yes, there are 2 of us. For more information about Untold Italy, please visit untolditaly.com.